Thank you for joining us, and this is really great. When I look back at some of the Democratic movements recently, when I look at Occupy Wall Street, it ended up crashing and burning from lack of organization. When I look at Bernie Sanders followers that ended up not voting, and the results of that, I'm wondering what each one of you are planning to do, and what your colleagues in Washington are planning to do to organize this, to organize this movement, in order to sustain it. So at least the midterms, to get people out and get people on the ground and voting, and certainly 4 years from now to change the power of Washington. What are each one of you going to do?
The key thing for me is focusing on 2018. You've got to make every day a referendum on the Trump presidency.
Yes.
But short of impeachment, the real way to rebuke this guy is to take back the House in a flood. If you look at where Jack and I are in the Senate, the map this year for the Senate is really, really bad. So the likelihood of us being able to take back the Senate would require such a monster tsunami that if we have that by definition, we have taken back the House. So the real focus to me is going to be help the House figure out where the 50 or 60 districts are that they think they can swing, and put all of our effort into making sure that every voter in those districts knows what the stakes are and knows that they can make a difference. In the meantime, I'm the co-chair of Lindsey Graham's subcommittee investigating the Trump-Russia. Now and then on a bipartisan basis that can be really important and striking, but don't forget 2018. That has to be our constant touchstone, is my thought. Jack.
Well, my immediate objective is to work awfully hard every day to re-elect Joe the White House, get Lisa Sweeney nationally and work with other Democratic candidates across the country so that we can literally take back our government.
What about
Then, what we want to do is to continue, as Sheldon has suggested, to pursue these issues that confront us. Working again on a bipartisan basis, John McCain and I had the hearing in early January, which established the record that the Russians did deliberately, from the highest level, interfere with our election last year.
So what do you do about it?
We are continuing not only to support Sheldon's efforts, but it's now an investigation in the Intelligence Committee, which we're doing, and also we're going to continue to work on the Armed Services Committee to keep this effort and trace these leads, to give the American people the information they need and deserve. And this is an effort that's going to be without let up. We know it's important, and we're going to keep doing it.
Be louder about it.
And we are, I think, frankly, we're going to go ahead and try, and not only try, but succeed in doing this, because the pressure has to be on, and it has to be not just in the press, but it also has to be every day. The reason that the Intelligence Committee is moving forward at all is because we're working very closely. I'm working with Mark Warner from Virginia so that they don't forget about this little, and they'd like to. We're working every day to remind the American people of the way they mismanaged and misorganized, if you will, that security apparatus. You know, David and I came out immediately when they changed the rules of the NSC. They took off the one individual who's a nonpartisan professional, the chairman of Joint Chiefs of Staff, and they put out a ban. And we went publicly, condemned it, continue to condemn it, and continue to work to that end.
there.
What can we do?
What you do is exactly what you're doing here, but not just today. That's my final point.
I would like to say and ask which,
We want to go ahead and continue this effort. That means we have to stay in contact. We have to be communicating with one another. And so I would expect that we're going to build up a list of emails, of telephones, of social media, because as we address this, we're stronger together.
Actions speak louder than words.
That's why we're here working to do it.
Thanks. So I'm going to just four concrete things that I'm doing, that my colleagues are engaged on. First and foremost is to stay in touch with all of you and motivate and help encourage you to stay active, stay engaged, and because the more we can sustain this effort, the more likely we will be successful in November 2 years from turning things around. Secondly, David and I just got back from our Democratic Issues Retreat. We're regrouping right now. We're reflecting on what went wrong, what went right in the last election, and how we regroup both in message and in substance to move our caucus and the country forward. The other two things that we're doing in a concrete way, as you know, I spent a lot of time on cybersecurity. I'm right now circulating a resolution. We would create a joint House Senate Select Committee to investigate Russian hacking on our elections because it was nothing short of an attack on the pillars of our democracy. And we need to get a lot of these attacks.
Rule 19.
So these are the things that we're working on, and the last thing I'll mention is this. I think it was shameful what Donald Trump did during the election, whether he was, the things he did or said in reference to women, to LGBT, to minorities, to Muslims, to people with disabilities. It was shameful, outrageous, it was gross, and I need my blood. So here's what I'm doing as a protest. Each year, the president holds the State of the Union address. We get one ticket to invite special guests. I'm organizing after all of my colleagues, David is part of this effort as well, asking our members to extend that one ticket to someone from one of the groups, whether it's from the immigrant community, or the Muslim community, disability community, someone who has been discriminated against in their lives that Donald Trump had attacked, to get time to make positive contributions in their community, in this country, to reflect, Mr. President, we need to address the country, that this is what America is all about. It's a diverse country, it's a diverse background, and we want them to be facing the American people.
Rule 19.
So those are the things that we're working on in a concrete way, but we will continue to be engaged with you, to listen to you, so that we are more effective going forward. Thank you.
Is to say this movement, this resistance really has been very organic. I think we have to be sure that it's not sort of, the life is not squished out of it by elected officials. I think this is something that the people are interested in. And so the leadership of this continue is going to come from the people of this country, the people of Rhode Island. Rhode Island, I think, can be an example to the country in terms of this resistance. I think the other thing that we have to do is continue to stand up and speak out and give people a reason to vote for us in 2018. Because the reality is, as Shelby pointed out, that's the first time we'll get to vote to put a check on this president. It's 2018. We can take the House back and set our country in a very different direction and protect us from the most egregious behavior of this president. We have to, the way that we can do that is be sure that we demonstrate to the Americans that we understand. This was a public document. You saw the unclassified version. This was an unprecedented engagement by the Russians in attempting to influence the outcome of an American presidential election. They're doing this all over the world in an effort to undermine Western liberal democracy. They did it here in an effort to undermine one candidate and to promote Donald Trump. That's unprecedented, and we in the House have both put in resolutions, bipartisan commissions, pressing everyone to have a review of this. We will introduce, it's been introduced by Jerry Nadler, I will join it, a resolution to the Judiciary Committee. It's called the Resolution of Inquiry. We were asking the Attorney General to give us information about the relationship between the Russian government and the Trump campaign and its properties. This is really, we have got to begin to lay the groundwork to really probe what is this relationship and to understand how we can hold him accountable. But I think what we have to do in the end is continue to fight to preserve our values as a country. When you think about the state of Rhode Island, Roger Williams came here as a refugee. He came here for religious freedom.